This weekend, the Bulls will host the Stormers in the North versus South derby, the biggest rivalry in domestic South African rugby. And this is what I think the lineups should be. These are my predicted lineups for both the Bulls and the Stormers. As always, make sure to let me know your thoughts on who should be playing down in the comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave this video a like. Let's get into my Bulls starting 23. Now, first of all, there are a couple of players in doubt with some injuries for the Blue Bulls. The first one being Volko Low. You'll see I haven't added him in to the playing 23, but if he is fit for the Bulls, then obviously he will get a spot there. The second one is Ulrich Low. I do think he's going to be available to play, so as you'll see, I've added him in. And the third one is Cameron Hanekom, who again I think will be available for selection. Now, starting with the front row for the Bulls, we do have a couple of decisions to make. For the loose head, we can either go for Gerrit Steenkamp or Simpiwe Matanzima. For me, I'm going to start Gerrit Steenkamp and keep Simpiwe Matanzima on the bench. Coming into hooker, there are a couple of players that we could start here. Akko van der Merwe, Johan Grobler, or Jan-Hendrik Wessels. Now, Jan-Hendrik Wessels is very, very young, and I do think Akko van der Merwe will bring that nice sort of bomb squad feel off of the bench. So for me, I'm going to start Johan Grobler and go with Akko van der Merwe on the bench. Unfortunately, Jan-Hendrik Wessels misses out for me. And then that third spot in the tight head prop, we also have a couple, but I'm going to go with Mornay Smith to start and Machuna on the bench. Then moving into the lock partnership for the Bulls, I'm going to go with the young Reinhard Ludwig, who's absolutely phenomenal. His work rate is out of this world. And then I'm going to pair him with obviously Ruan Nukia, who will probably run out as captain for the day. He's also been very, very solid so far this season. Moving into the loose trio. Now, this is where it might get a little bit complicated for the Bulls if Cameron Hanekom is out, but I'm going to say and make my prediction that he's going to be in. So starting with the number 6 position, we can either go for Marco van Staden or Marcel Coetzee. For me, I prefer Marco van Staden, so I'm going to start him. 7, we can either go for Gumede or we can go for Ulrich Low. For me, I think Ulrich Low is probably a little bit better. Gumede can probably come off the bench, replace Hanekom or Ulrich Low. And then in number 8, Cameron Hanekom, who's been absolutely phenomenal for the Bulls since he signed. He's now made the alignment camp as well for the Springboks. And I think he's going to be one of the stars of the future in a Springbok jersey. So Cameron Hanekom definitely starts at number 8 for me. Moving into the back line now, number 9. This is probably the best number 9 in South Africa at the moment on form, Embros Papid. He controls the game. He can slow the game down. He can increase the pace. His kicking game is good. He finds holes absolutely everywhere, and he gets some quick ruck ball. So Embros Papid definitely starts at number 9 for me. For the Bulls, number 10. There's been a couple of changes at number 10, but I do think the Bulls need to go with experience, especially against the likes of the Stormers, who are probably going to start Lebok. So for me, I'm going to go for Johan Goosen at number 10. He's been playing rugby for ages. We've seen him do it with the Cheetahs. Let's hope we can see him do it with the Bulls here. Then I'm going to go into the center pairing, and then I'm going to go for the back 3. So at number 12, he's also been electric for the Bulls, is David Kriel. He's also a bit of a utility back. So if there are a couple of injuries on the wing or fullback, he can slot in there. He can also get some good go forward ball. His defense is good. David Kriel definitely gets the number 12 jersey for me. Number 13, Stedman Gans. I think he's one of those players who are a little bit under the radar in terms of the Springboks and domestic rugby in South Africa. But for me, I love Stedman Gans. He really holds that backline together. And he's almost like a little bit of a Lukanya-esque type of player who can do the offloads. His defense is good. Maybe not on the level of Lukanya, but he's definitely up there. Then the back 3 for the Blue Bulls, South African back 3. I'm going to go at number 11, Kanan Moody. Also one of those utility backs that can play in the centers. He could probably play fullback as well. Just an absolute phenom of a talent. 14, we got to go for Kurtley Arendse, who's been lighting it up for the Boks. He's just incredible. Lights on his feet, good in the air, good in defense. He's an absolute finisher, has to be number 14. And then obviously number 15, who signed for the Bulls recently, Willie Leroux. Now, Willie, there's one of two opinions people have of him. They either love him or they hate him. For me, Willie Leroux is one of the most experienced rugby players in the country at the moment. He knows how to do it. He can get the job done. And that's exactly what the Bulls need against a very, very dangerous Stormers side. Then for the Bulls on the bench, I've got Akko van der Merwe, like I said earlier. We've got Simpiwe Matanzima. We've got Machunu. We've got Janko Swanepoel. We've got Gumede, who I think is going to be a key player in this game coming off of the bench. If he does, he might even even start for the Bulls. I just think they should rather go with Ulrich Loh at number 7. Then at number 21, we've got Marcel Coetzee, who can slot in on either side for flank. He can play 8th man, so just another good player to have on the bench. And you'll see I've gone with a 6-2 split for the Bulls. Number 22, replacement scrum of Keegan Johannes. And then 23 is Devin Williams for me, who again can cover pretty much any position in the back line. Taking that 6-2 split. The Bulls love forward rugby, so let them play with a 6-2 split. Let them maul, let them dominate up front. So that's my prediction for the Bulls lineup. Let me know in the comments if you'd make any changes. Let's move on to the Stormers starting 23. Now for the Stormers, they have a little bit of a different headache. There's a whole bunch of Springbok players that have now come back that they can pick from. Manie Libbok, Damian Willemse, Frans Malherbe, just to name a few. So starting with their front three, again, it's all going to matter on who they go with, because Neetling Verschier, who has been captaining the Stormers so far, Frans Malherbe is back, and obviously Frans Malherbe should play ahead of Neetling Verschier. He is a 2-time World Cup winner. And now it's the question of, does Neetling Verschier go to the number 1 position at loose head and Frans Malherbe slots in at the tight head, or do they just put Verschier on the bench and start Malherbe, or do they start Verschier, who's been playing very, very well in a Stormers top, and put Malherbe on the bench? So there's a couple of decisions that they're going to have to make. So let's say they do include Frans Malherbe. I'm actually going to go at number 1 for loose head with Sittol. 2, Joseph Dwebe, who I think is a phenomenal hooker. Maybe just got a little bit unlucky with the Springboks. And then number 3, we got to choose between Verschier or Malherbe. I'm actually going to go with Neetling Verschier. He's probably going to captain again. Frans can come on in the second half in the 50th minute, win those vital scrum penalties. So for me, Sittol in first, Dwebe in at the hooker role, and then Neetling Verschier in that tight head role. Then that lock combination, who's been doing it for the Stormers for the majority of the season, Andre Smith and Ruben van Heerden. Now there is some competition in the lock department, because it does seem like Salman Murat is back. If you can cast your mind back, he has played in a Springbok top before. He's just been dealing with a lot of injuries, so he could also start. But for me, I'm going to put him on the bench and go with Andre Smith in number 4 jersey and Ruben van Heerden in the number 5 jersey. Then for the loosies, there are a couple of options, but I definitely think the strongest loose pairing or partnership is 6, Dion Fourie, who's also back from Springbok duty. 7, another Springbok, Ivan Roos, who can cause absolute damage. He can also play at number 8, but they seem to be going for Achiva Daimane at number 8. So Ivan Roos and Achiva can definitely switch, but I think that is a very, very dangerous loose trio for the Stormers. Dion Fourie at 6, Ivan Roos at 7, and Achiva Daimane at 8. Then at number 9 for the Stormers, you can either go for Paul de Wet or Herschel Yankees. I think the coaches are going to go for the more experienced, so I'm going to go with Herschel Yankees at number 9. At his peak, he was one of the best scrum-offs in the world. He can still reach that, especially at number 10, because he has Manie Libbok as a partner. Manie Libbok, we saw how good he was for the Springboks in the World Cup. Also back, can light that backline on absolute fire. So watch out for Manie Libbok. It's going to be interesting to see how the Bulls counter the Stormers backline, who are just full of talent. Then again, for the Stormers, I'm going to go with the center pairing. Now, there's also problems here, because do you play Damian Willemse at number 12 and put Sasha Mngomezulu on the bench, or do you put Damian Willemse in at number 15 and then Galant misses out for the Stormers? For me, at 12, I'm going to go Sasha Mngomezulu, and 13, I'm going to go Hudson-Berg, who's also been phenomenal for the Stormers, can also play on the wing if need be. Then in the back 3, I'm going to go for a little bit of experience. I'm going to go for Leon Zas at number 11, 14, Angelo Davies, just experience, and then obviously at number 15, I'm going to go for Damian Willemse, who unfortunately then means that Galant is going to miss out for the Stormers. But again, Galant can come on, play any position. You need to have Damian Willemse on the field, one of the best players in the world at the moment, can also be that utility back that plays any position in that back line. Then just running through the bench for the Stormers, I've got Andrew Hugo Venter, replacement hooker. We've got Ali Vermaak, and then obviously Frans Malherbe will be on the bench for me. Replacement lock, we've got Salman Murat, who I think is going to come on and have a massive impact, as well as Ben Jason Dixon, who can play lock or flanker for the Stormers. He's also been playing very, very well. Then number 21, we've got a bit of a toss-up here. Do we go for Willie Engelbrecht or Marcel Teensen? Let me know down in the comments. I couldn't quite decide on that position. And as you can see, I've gone for a 6-2 split for the Stormers as well. I think they're going to need that extra firepower up front to dismantle the Bulls' game plan of forwards. And And then for the 2 backs, I've gone Paul de Vet on the bench, replacement scrum off, and then obviously Warwick Gelant, who will be the utility back for the Stormers. So those are the 2 predicted 23 lineups I've gone for the Bulls versus Stormers. Absolutely massive game this weekend. Let me know in the comments what you think of these lineups. Would you change anything? Don't be scared to roast me. I love seeing the comments and having conversations with you guys in the comments. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.